Hello, welcome to my show, Datus Interruptis, episode 10. So this time I had spent a little bit of time on the phone with the guy for about 30 minutes. He seemed nice. Oh boy, I don't know. I just don't know. He was cuter in his pictures, honestly. And he said he's 6'1". I showed up in my heels and I'm still taller than him. So I'm not wearing super high heels. I don't know. Like maybe a little, I don't know. Ain't no way he's 6'1", that's for sure. But then he was about 5 minutes late, but that's okay. But the thing was, I don't like where he chose. It was this coffee shop and he chose it in a place where I had to drive. It was 10 minutes from me, which doesn't seem long, but then I had to find parking and it was $17 to pay for parking, which is kind of outrageous. So I could have done 2 hours for 12, but I was worried that it was going to be longer because I thought for whatever reason we were having dinner because we were meeting at 5. But silly me, no dinner at 5. He was asking me to go to this coffee shop, and I can't stand small coffee shops because if you're in a small coffee shop, 2 things happen. Number 1, the espresso machine is loud, and so I have trouble hearing what is being said over loud espresso machines. Number 2, if it's a small coffee shop, that means you're having an awkward get-to-know-you conversation in front of everyone in the coffee shop, and they will be aware of it. So I didn't want to sit inside, so I sat outside. Now this is downtown San Diego, folks. The homeless population is pretty strong. So I could really smell the human urine like in that area, and it was driving me nuts. So I have a processing disorder of sorts. So that means scents come in really strong. All noises come in really strong. So that's why the espresso machine is even more problematic. And so it just smelled like piss the whole time. And I really just was trying to get over it. When it got a little bit cooler, it went away, but there were constantly passersby that were homeless, and you could tell there was a hygiene issue because then you could just smell it, and then the smell that would linger, like they would pass you and be like, wow, but they'd be like way gone and you'd still be smelling that smell. And so it was just, I wish he chose a different place. Honestly, I'm mad at myself because I should have chosen the place. If he was choosing someplace kind of in my area, then I should have just chosen it. That way I wouldn't have to pay the $17 for the parking. Only one of us would need to pay for parking. And I would have chosen a way cooler coffee shop than that one. So note to self, I need to start setting up these dates because these fools are just not impressing me. The only person who did impress me so far was B-Boy Brazilian Mercury, but that's because he was going to take me to a really nice place because he's a Don Juan. This guy, not so much. He was nice. At first, I really didn't like how the conversation was going. He was mostly talking about himself, but maybe he was nervous because then after that, after a little bit, it got going and it was more of a conversation. So, I was there for about 2 hours, and I was like, okay, thanks. And he's like, oh, well, I'd like to go out again. Like, maybe we can go to dinner next time. And I was kind of like, I said yes. It's so hard to know, right? But I really was irked about the choice of the location, and I had to pay for parking when it was just, I don't know. I'm just being a brat about it. But I wasn't feeling the fireworks. Oh, is it always like this? I feel like I would feel something more exciting. Like I would just know, like, finally. He definitely seemed interested in me because as I was explaining things about that I like, how I used to do capoeira, how, I know Spanish. He was liking those things about me, but it's like, those things aren't about me. Those are things that I like that he's interested in. It doesn't matter. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? This is a lot of time. So I guess I should have video screened him because he looked way cuter in his pictures. I know it shouldn't matter, but I look like the pictures that I have. Now I'm all dressed up. I think I'm going to go to karaoke because it's still a little bit early. So we'll see, y'all. We'll see. I just am getting another friend vibe, but baby steps. Thanks for letting me process.